From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you. So is this virtually the entire score?
It's pretty much, most of the score is there. Some things are crossed out, some things don't get. Actually, that's one of the neatest stories, and one of the most revealing things that these sketches do. And I think if I can find it here, you'll see. Well, it's crossed out first time here. There are two romances in the show, as you know, and the secondary romance is between Cable and Leot, and he's a soldier and she's a native girl. And there was clearly an idea for a song for those two characters. They don't even have a title yet, and Rodgers just writes a tune here, and for some reason here he crosses it out. But then on the next page, it is more fully formed, although there's a part crossed out there. But what's interesting is that tune never makes it into the show, but I bet it's a tune you know.
Let's see, that's
Let's see.
Three sharps, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that?
So I know that from The King and I, getting to know you, getting to know all of. But this was written for Lieutenant Cable and Leot in South Pacific.
This reveals two things, I think, which are kind of both neat and different. The story goes that they wrote this song as a love song for Cable and Leot, but maybe it was intended differently in tone, but it doesn't sound very romantic to me. It's not one of the great love ballads.
Well, what was it called?
There is a lyric for it, and actually there are two versions. One is Suddenly Lucky and Suddenly Lovely, and there are complete lyrics for it.
So, suddenly lucky.
Suddenly my arms are lucky.
Suddenly my arms are lucky. Suddenly my arms are lucky.
And it goes on. It's not the greatest, most romantic number.
So at some point they decided that this did not suit, and it was replaced by what? Younger Than Springtime?
Younger Than Springtime, which is one of the
Younger than springtime, are you gayer than... Very much more romantic than... And do you think it was that sprightly? Suddenly lucky, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's almost like a soft shoe or something.
Yeah. Well, the story goes that they wrote it for here, it got cut. A few years later, they were working on The King and I, and the primary character is Anna, who's sort of this, I guess you'd call her a teacher or schoolmistress, who's brought in from England to teach the children of the king. And out of town, as you know, in those days, most shows, Broadway shows, before they opened on Broadway, would sort of tour a couple of cities to sort of try and work themselves out.
And things would come and go.
Exactly.
That was the working process, and sometimes they would spend a couple of months out of town or whatever it took until they felt they were ready.
Right. According to Mary Martin's memoir, who, as you remember, starred in South Pacific, she went to see the show out of town, The King and I, and thought that the main character there, Anna, needed a song in the scene where she meets these kids. And she remembered this song that had been cut from South Pacific and suggested to Rodgers and Hammerstein that tune sort of set the right tone and the right mood and would fit this person who was to sing it, who played Anna, who was Gertrude Lawrence. So,
and it became
getting
to know you, getting to know all about you, getting to like you, getting to hope you like me. That's fantastic. That's amazing. And it probably was not known that this existed until you or someone here in the library discovered it.
Yeah, you never know, and you sort of, I'm not nearly as good a musician as you are, but I remember the first time I saw this, and I sort of kind of tried to hum that tune under my breath, and it was like, oh my God, is that what I think it is? And I rushed and took it to a piano, and there it was indeed. And I don't know if anyone had noticed it before, but it was certainly a thrilling moment.
And then you want to run and tell the world.
Yes.
Who was the first person you told?
Michael Feinstein.
Oh.
I've never told anybody before. No.
Well,
I don't remember.
That's
but,
a lovely,
yeah.
lovely revelation.
Yeah.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.